Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. So, hopefully everybody is doing well. Hopefully you are having a blessed and highly favored Tuesday. I am so glad that you guys can join me today. Alright, hey Raymond. So people are going to slowly come into the room. Let me go ahead and start by thanking my patrons. Thank you for supporting my content. If you would like to become a member of my Patreon, that link is below in the description box if you would like to help support my content. Hey Helena, hey Stay Laced, hey Grace. But yeah, so if you would like to support my content, definitely become a member of my Patreon. Also, just to remind you guys, the people who are in Virginia, I will be in Richmond, Virginia this weekend, which will be Saturday. I will be speaking at the 2A rally that is being hosted by BLM 757. So I was invited to speak to that. So I am looking forward to that. If you are in the Richmond, Virginia area, you should definitely come through. And you can find all of that information on my Twitter and my Instagram. Also, if you were here last week, I told you that I will also be speaking on the panel at the Solutionary Summit that will be in Atlanta, Georgia on September the 12th. You can find this information in my community tab. I'm also going to be you can also find all of the information, the video, the people that are going to be on the panel. I've dropped their link in the description box as well. And I'm also going to be posting it on my Instagram and Twitter as well. So yeah, I think I covered pretty much all of that. But hey, Jupiter Black. Hey, Jeremiah. Hey, Political Pug. Hey, Steve from Los Angeles. Hey, Kim. Hey, Kendra. But hey, y'all, welcome. Hopefully everybody's having a good Tuesday, just kind of going over some of the things that I have coming up. So if y'all would like to participate in those, please do. If you're in Richmond, definitely come to the rally on this Saturday, and then the Solutionary Summit that's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia in September. Those are going to be some awesome events with some really good lineups. So yeah, y'all, I'm excited. But all right, y'all. So we're gonna talk about a couple of different things tonight. I know y'all can't wait to hear me talk about your girl Kamala. We're just living in some very interesting times. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about that, but there are a couple of things that I wanted to mention before we get into today's trending topic. The first one is that I wanted to briefly mention this. Some of you may or may not know that your boy Cuomo was recently caught, okay, begging wealthy residents to come back to New York City. And I think that's both hilarious and funny. And for you that haven't noticed yet, right? Because one of our biggest things is we always hope to be forward thinking, is that in case you haven't noticed, there has been, and even more so is going to be, this mass exodus that is going to be happening of people moving out of these larger cities, okay? People are going to be moving out of your New York cities. They're going to be moving out of your LAs. I mean, you even have people really just moving out of New York and California altogether. So if you didn't know about this, we're going to talk about a couple of things Um, that's going on right now. So this is Cuomo begging rich New Yorkers to leave the Hamptons, return to New York City, come over, I'll cook, okay? Governor Andrew Cuomo has been begging rich people to return to New York City from their second home retreats so they can pay taxes to help offset the state's growing coronavirus-related revenue shortfall. I literally talk to people all day long who are now in their Hamptons house, who has also lived here, or in the Hudson Valley house, or in their Connecticut weekend house, and I say, you got to come back. We'll go to dinner. I'll buy you a drink. Come over. I'll cook, the Democratic governor said Monday. They're not coming back right now. And you know what else they're thinking? If I stay there, I'll pay a lower income tax because they don't pay the New York City surcharge, he added, noting the wealthiest 1% of the Empire State's population picks up roughly 50% of the state's tax burden. Okay, this is very important. I'm talking about this because some of the very unassuming people are about to be left in these horrible cities, and you are, while they're feeding to you, oh no, we're gonna just tax the rich. This is why I talk about being forward thinking. You have to be 10 steps ahead, because a lot of these politicians and a lot of the wealthy know and they see what is coming down the road, right? But why the politicians, the blue checks, have y'all focusing on who's playing these movie roles. They have y'all focusing on hashtags. They have y'all focusing on WAP, Cardi, and Megan Thee Stallion. They have y'all focusing on every single thing but the things that are going to actually add to your freaking quality of life. A hashtag is not going to save you from what is coming. There is, for the people talking about all this looting and rioting now, y'all have not seen nothing. You've seen nothing. The inflation has not even hit yet. The lows that some of these politicians are willing to go just to be a part of this agenda and this overall chaos that is happening, y'all, this is just the beginning, okay? The plea comes amid dimming hopes that the federal government next COVID-19 relief package will only contain aid for struggling state and local governments if additional dollars do not come to New York on top of waning revenue streams. Cuomo and other state officials have said the hit could translate to 20% cuts to health, education, and local government's annual budget. Meanwhile, Cuomo said he's not keen on raising taxes for the wealthy, adding it wouldn't be enough to cover the state's growing deficit, pegged at around $30 billion over the next 2 years. So here you have Cuomo. This was already a bubbling stew pot of messiness. All right. I've been talking about this for you guys that have been supporting me for a while. I have been talking to you particularly about the things I've been saying. Pay attention to California. Pay attention to New York, because while they get on here and they give y'all bullet points and talking points on the news, on the TV, you have these governors, you have these mayors that pretend that these places are the most progressive. Yet you have not only wealthy people, but Black people. Now, these are supposed to be the most progressive places to live. Yet you have wealthy people, you have middle class people, you have Black people moving out of these cities at freaking record speed. Okay. This is happening right in front of us, and people can talk about everything else over the sun, but I'm telling you, if you're not talking dollars, if you're not talking money, if you're not talking directly adding to your quality of life, I am not talking about somebody that says something to hurt your feelings, somebody said something about your hair, they don't like how you talk, all these other, they don't like that you wanted to pop it for pimp on the timeline because of body positivity and everything else under the sun is not going to stop what's coming. So while people continuously want to be distracted, you're going to miss this jet. All right. Then you have Governor Newsom. No money in the piggy bank to fund Trump's weekly unemployment order. Let's see if they're going to let me play this video without the ad.
For unemployed California residents, an additional $600 per week of unemployment benefits expired at the end of July. President Trump signed an executive order that would give $400 a week in enhanced federal unemployment benefits through the end of December. Now, Governor Newsom says California won't be able to contribute the state's required 25%.
There is no money sitting in the piggy bank of the previous CARES Act to be reprioritized or reconstituted for this purpose. Simply does not exist.
Governor Newsom said even a state as large as California cannot absorb that burden without massive cuts.
We need the federal government to front those dollars.
The governor did not say how.
Now, this was the same governor who was just sitting here talking about it's not enough. See, this is why I tell y'all, you cannot just pay attention to the got you moments, the talking points. You have to actually see what's being legislated and what's being done on paper, right? You have this same governor who is just acting like the Trump administration was not doing enough. Yet here you are, I think maybe a week later saying, well, hell, you caught me red-handed because we don't even have money in the bank. We cannot match California, as many wealthy people that live in California, as much as they tell you they're going to tax their wealthy, somehow they can't manage to meet 25% of this budget to uphold this unemployment. Now, if I was the, is this you, Twitter? Is this you? Is this the same Gavin Newsom that back in April wanted to commit to giving undocumented immigrants, right? That means people that are here unlawfully, illegally. Okay, you announced you wanted to give them $125 million for undocumented immigrants. How many immigrants in California, you ask? An estimated 2 million living illegally. Okay, because you had immigrants that were not eligible under the federal stimulus package. You had people like Governor Newsom, right? So progressive. You thinking so far ahead, so you can't even think to the fact of we're gonna run out of money. But their talking points, their hashtags, their press conferences be so the I got you moments. And now you can't even take care of your residents. This is the same California. I've been talking about this. I've been talking about this for a while. The demographics, the California is supposedly, right? California and New York, supposedly the most progressive places to be. This is what you'll be told. However, when you look at the demographics, Black people in particular, middle income Black people are leaving California, leaving LA like it's the freaking plague. In the last, I think, 10 to 20 years, you've had the Black population in California halved. You went from about 20, I think, 12% of the population to, I think, now 6 and dwindling. Then don't even get me started on Oakland, somewhere that notoriously known for Black residents. Now I think there may be like 25% of that population. You have people being moved out. Who are you working on the behalf of? This is ridiculous. And then they come on TV and they say, oh, well, just give us more money. Let us tax you more and we'll work it out. What have they shown us? What have these politicians shown? You can't even manage the money you have. I talked a while ago about they were building some kind of speed high rail train in California. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was Bree Newsome that posted on Twitter a couple of days ago. She said, in the midst of coronavirus, the local community has been more helpful amongst each other than the actual government. I said, oh my, oh wow. Just imagine once you realize that's how it was supposed to be all along. When are people going to wake up and realize that these people are funneling, stealing, embezzling your money? What do the residents in these particular progressive cities have to show for what they pay in taxes, what they pay to live in these cities packed up on top of each other? Now you have an incompetent, yes, I'm going to say that, mayor in I can't even remember now. Y'all help me remember if this was governor of New York. Literally from the beginning of the coronavirus, one of the first things we all knew, this was universal. This was one of the very first things we knew about the coronavirus, is the fact that it affected heavily the older populations. You literally had a governor that made the decision, and he doubled down and didn't even apologize. Yeah, I sent COVID patients to nursing homes. Yeah, we know nursing home patients are super susceptible to dying from the coronavirus, but I mean, it was a decision we made. Of course, I don't think why would you get an independent investigation going? No need to do all that. People are sick of it. You have Joe Rogan on YouTube talking about how he's moving out of California. It's ridiculous. Not only Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan is super influential. He has millions of listeners. He goes on YouTube and says the taxes are too high. The quality of life is dwindling. You have the poor population that is growing at crazy speeds. You can go purchase a freaking high rise, pay all this money, go look out your window and see freaking camps, people pooping on the streets. How long do y'all think people are going to deal with this? And as much as people like to get on here and pretend they hate the wealthy, right? As you tweet from your iPhone, as you continue to buy designer, as you continue to want these same elite blue checks to speak on your behalf. Oh my God, right? As people sit here and pretend to hate the rich, you think you hate the rich. Now, just wait till you have all these people packing up and moving to the middle of nowhere, moving to the Wyomings, the South Dakotas, all these other places where they can get their land, they can hire, they can pay lower taxes, and they can hire their freaking chefs, their gardeners, their nannies to come there and stay for however long and leave all of the most poor, unassuming people in these cities that have shown to be detrimental not only to health but mental health as well, right? Because if we're talking about the cities where people are packed up on each other, up under each other, I was just talking to a friend about this not long ago, because I was asking why is it this running joke that Northerners have such bad attitudes compared to Southerners, where you kind of have this Southern hospitality, right? And his response to me was, I don't think people are supposed to live like this packed up under each other. When we're literally talking about these cities, you get into talking about things like even the air is different. I would be so shocked riding through states, well, cities, right? Up north, and people didn't have like backyards. I'd be like, going to just stick your feet in the grass. Just things that, some people just, I guess you could say, take for granted, or maybe just don't even think about, right? And so now the coronavirus has shed so much light on this. Let me show y'all this, because I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, you already saw this. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. All right. I posted a video, I said, of Kanye West talking. I said, it's funny how they choose what goes viral and doesn't go viral. Let's take a little look at this clip, and it goes right into what's happening now. And yes, we all know that Kanye West deals with some level of Gemini / mental illness / whatever, right? That does not automatically discredit everything that comes out of somebody's mouth. And Kanye West, this is why I tell people you have to listen in long form sometimes. And I stop running with the mainstream media narratives, because oftentimes if you actually listen to Kanye West talk and try to actually follow his thoughts, Kanye continues to drop gems. All right. So let's look at this real quick. I don't know. Yeah, I can make it big. Okay.
We moved to the inner cities, it was because of the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution is over, but now it's time to move again. If you have agriculture as your business, you give tax breaks. Tesla, the original Tesla, said the earth is a giant generator. God has given us freedom. You can feed your family and survive off of earth, wind, fire, and water. Through proper engineering. But the education and the schools and these textbooks that have been given to you, have you ever got a textbook that said, okay, you can buy 100 acres for $100,000 in Middle America, and you can farm and feed your family? Has there ever been a class on that?
This man is sitting here dropping gems, right? So they'll take their little one sound bite, try to paint this man as crazy. Instead of allowing these gems to spread, they don't want the word getting to y'all, right? That you can, some of these same things that y'all are paying in LA, in New York, to be in these freaking high rises, to be in these 1-bedroom brick-sided apartments. You could literally go out and buy land. And like my mind started spinning, right? Because then I started thinking, I was like, is this one of the main reasons why they were trying to push like Black people out of agriculture, right? The whole talking point of Black people don't do those jobs. Like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? And I literally started looking deeper. Black people don't do those jobs, until I noticed that even if we're talking about tech jobs, I did a story on this a while ago. It was somewhere in California. It was tech jobs that had hundreds of illegal immigrants working in there. The news ain't gonna tell you that. They're gonna just say, oh, it was some jobs y'all didn't want to do. Don't even look over there, because you don't want those jobs anyway. And the whole time you got people moving into tech, moving into agriculture, a real essential job that's never gonna go out of style. The deception is so real. the links they go to make us focus on things that do not matter. This was one of my biggest things I talked about, even with the Black Lives Matter protest. I told you guys, I said they're going to spin the narrative. They're going to have you talking about things that don't even matter, don't even count for anything. You have people that will argue over hashtags, that will argue over slogans instead of talking about the actual policies that will enhance their quality of life. Instead of talking about the policies that will help them be forward thinking. It should be everybody's goal, right? Whether you feel like it's attainable, whether you feel like it will be 10 or 15 or 20 years, regardless of what you feel like it will take, somewhere in your mind, you should be telling yourself that the ultimate goal is to be more self-sustainable, more self-sufficient, and remove yourself from these cities, these situations that have done nothing but continue to steal your money with nothing to show for it, and been completely detrimental to your way of life, your mental health, your emotional health, and everything else. So he was literally here dropping gems and nobody talked about it. And so we're going to talk about it over here. All right. People are so enthralled with the symbolism. Symbolism is not going to feed you. Symbolism is not going to put food on your table. We're going to talk about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden tonight, how they virtue signal with all the talks about racism. Why are people leaving California? It has to do with money. Money moves people. People might not want to admit that, but when you're looking at the habits or the moves that people are making, I mean, you may have a person that moves because they say, hey, my neighbor is racist. I don't want to deal with that anymore, right? But I guarantee you have way more people moving because they say, I cannot afford to be here. I literally cannot afford to be here. It's not worth it for me. I'm going to move to Texas. I'm going to move to Arizona. So many people are running to Texas right now for better opportunities and lower taxes. They're moving for money. Texas is Southern. I have so many cousins, family, look like me, around my age, moving to Texas. They didn't say, hey, we're moving there to escape racism. They said we're moving for lower taxes, better opportunities, and jobs. So you can get on the computer, you can get on Twitter, you can tweet rage, you can hashtag all day long. But the money is what moves people. And when you have the Joe Rogans and all of his wealthy friends and all the people that he is able to influence that are going to move out and are going to leave, first of all, a huge illegal immigration population that doesn't even pay, or definitely not at the rate that we do, federal taxes. Yeah, you might pay, what do you call it when you just purchase something? Taxes. Can't even think of what it's called right now. What is that gonna leave? And it's literally just common sense, just basic common sense. The answers will come to you. It's not no secret. It's not some, but it's already happening. It's already happening on a small level, right? I heard somebody say that this year is the first year that less people moving into California than now. Sales tax. Thank you, Helena. First year, the reverse. You don't hear people saying, "Oh, I'm moving to California." Maybe a couple people, but it's not as. You definitely wouldn't have heard last time you heard somebody say they moving to New York. Most times, if people are going to New York or California, they are going for very, very specific opportunities. Like you have California that is still a tech giant, so you have a lot of people that go out there for those tech jobs. Durag said Musk is moving to Austin. And so what do these people do? What do the millionaires do? You know, because, tax the wealthy is so easy. It's so easy to say, harder to implement, right? People think, and that's why I've been talking about this so hard, because people have to think of things from a very common sense perspective. If I am wealthy and I have the money to be literally anywhere in the United States I want to be, I have the money to buy as much land. I can pack up like a Joe Rogan. I can pack up my show. I can pack up my job and take it with me. When you have people that are creating opportunities, Elon Musk can pack up and put opportunities in Austin, Texas, instead of putting them in California, where it's like, well, you're going to tax me to death anyway. I don't have to do that. So there's going to have to be very practical, common sense solutions to finding balance between how people that create jobs are able to leverage and continue to create opportunities while feeling like they have the certain level of quality of life they want to have as well. It's not as easy as hashtag tax the rich, when the rich can just pack up and go anywhere they want to go. And then you have the most poor, and they've been pushing the middle class out. They've been leaving, right? So now you're leaving the burden on your middle class that's left, and you're poor. And it's happening in real time. Coronavirus is going to make it worse. And people are really going to see the next 5 to 10 years from now if there's not some type of something that happens. But over here, we are forward thinking. I want to let you guys know, these are the things we should be thinking about, regardless of your current income level. Regardless, I know a lot of people are out of work right now. The ultimate goal, right, is going to be in the land, in the property, getting out of the cities. And yes, Kanye West was dropping those gems, and unfortunately, a lot of people missed it. So, gotta keep up. Can't be going off these people talking points when you got governors out here literally begging, please don't go. Almost there. Please come back. Thank you, Jupiter Black. He said Biden has made this election so easy with this VIP pick. LMAO. Thank you. Gave me a $5 super chat. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. So let's talk a little bit about surviving Jeffrey Epstein, and then we're going to jump into the Kamala Harris story. So, surviving Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know if you guys know, but surviving Jeffrey Epstein was on Lifetime for the last 2 nights. All right. It was, I believe, a 4-part special. I did miss the first night as I was traveling. However, I was watching last night before I fell asleep. For people that are here rocking with me on Tuesdays, I have talked about this for weeks now. I've been telling y'all that surviving Jeffrey Epstein was coming. All right. Now, yes, I'm going to, I won't say gloat. I'll say gloat. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit, because it's a point that needs to be made here. So, surviving Jeffrey Epstein came on. Jeffrey Epstein not only was allegedly died of suicide. This man was connected to so many people. We're talking about government officials, how he was able to, I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but government officials, right here, that he worked with to basically get a slap on the wrist, even his first time going into the prison system, even to being connected to people like Prince Andrew, so on and so forth. Okay, other people that have been mentioned is they've mentioned Trump several times in the documentary. He's been linked to Alan Dershowitz, who I think is like a lawyer. And then you have Bill Clinton. Now, I watched, I think, 2 of the episodes last night, and I do not recall seeing Bill Clinton in the documentary, even though they brought up Trump's name several times. However, we know that it recently came out that one of the young ladies did mention Bill Clinton directly in the released documents. And I think I talked about this maybe a week or so ago. So what I want to say about this in general is that, like I've been estimating for weeks, surviving Jeffrey Epstein did poo numbers. Poo. Terrible. Non-existent. Nobody was talking about it. It wasn't trending. Nobody was hashtagging it. None of the blogs talked about it. Barely any of your faves, any of your favorite blue checks talked about it. It's disappointing, disgusting, and sickening. Let me tell you why. Surviving R. Kelly broke 2.1 million viewers. 2.1 million viewers. People talked about it for weeks. I think people had spinoffs in the talks, okay? You had people that became basically famous, some of the survivors because of it. Everybody was talking about it. You had all the memes, all the think pieces, everything. You had so many people that went out of their way to say, oh, why is there no surviving? Insert any creepy, rapey white man's name here. Surviving documentary. So many people saying that, right? I did a video a year ago addressing this. The video, I said, stop asking, where are the surviving Harvey Weinstein documentaries? Stop asking. Stop asking because you don't mean it. And here I am a year later, vindicated. All right. I told you guys it was all smoke and mirrors. You didn't actually care to see the things you asked for. You didn't. You just want to feel like in your social justice stance, you were calling for some level of equality, right? Even in the video, and you can replace the name Harvey Weinstein, you can replace it with Jeffrey Epstein, and the video is just as relevant today. I talked about how, yes, there is absolutely an agenda with the media, right? Because yes, we do know that Jeffrey Epstein is tied to a lot of powerful people. However, the cat is out of the bag, all right? We know about Jeffrey Epstein. We know about Ghislaine Maxwell. We know about how ABC tried to cover it up. So they said, well, heck, the least we could do is try to make a little bit of money from this now. Y'all didn't make it trend. Nobody talked about it. So yes, even though it starts off as an agenda, this is a lot of people like to talk about capitalism. You hate capitalism so bad. You never talk about the impact that consumerism has. Right? So now, Nobody talks about this documentary. Lifetime filled up. They spent all of this money making this documentary. They filled up 4 slots, and they're probably going to do some replays. You didn't talk about it. You didn't hashtag. The next time you say, oh, well, why don't you make a such and such and such? They're going to say, because you're full of it. You're not going to watch it. Why should we? Why should we? Their goal is still to make money. I wouldn't either. I'm going to give you what you want, what you ask for, even though, and this has been proven, I've talked about this. As much as people say they hate this and that, they don't like certain things. They like the negativity of the news. They dislike the negativity of the news. They dislike certain agendas, yet you click, you view, said something different. So, am I surprised that the surviving Jeffrey Epstein had to do so trash that I literally could not even find the numbers. I couldn't find the viewership, the ratings, whatever. But we knew, right? Because I even talked about this when the surviving R. Kelly documentary came out, did crazy numbers. The whole world was talking about it. And not even just for like a couple of hours, for days, weeks at a time. So the next time you want to bring yourself to say, why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? Because you don't buy it. You don't support it. All right. I saw somebody tweet this even recently about the whole Cardi B music video. Okay. I didn't see this, but I saw somebody talking about it. They said that Cardi B addressed it, that there are conscious women rappers. There are women that rap about, I guess, more wholesome lifestyles or whatever, this and that. Y'all don't buy it. Y'all don't watch. Y'all don't click. As much as you pretended to hate that video, hate Cardi B, hate what she stands for, or anybody else for that matter, right? Not just her, Megan Thee Stallion, or any other person. The clicks and views don't say that. The hashtags don't say that. And any politician will let you know this. Any blue check will let you know this. Even bad press is good press, okay? Even bad press is good press. So when you're talking about it, when you're tweeting about it, when you're clicking, when you're viewing all the things you hate, you're watching it just to tweet rage, you are telling the producers, you're telling the brand managers, the marketers, you're telling all these people basically what you like. And so when are people going to accept that? When are people going to accept the consumerism side of capitalism? Because capitalism is a two-way street. It is an exchange. You are buying a product, right? Even if that's with emotional capital, because emotional capital generates money, right? You have all these people that have no freaking clue who Megan Thee Stallion is, nor Cardi B, but you have Ben Shapiro that does a whole video dedicated to talking about the lyrics. Now, how much it's so bad for women. He hates it, blah, 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 boo feminism, everything else that comes with that, right? Yet, now all of your viewers watching have to go see it. They have to witness it for themselves. So what did you really do? Yikes. So yes, you are buying these people products, or not buying. If we're talking about surviving Jeffrey Epstein, you didn't lend any emotional capital, any energy to make a Lifetime ever say, okay, now we're going to do a surviving whoever else. I didn't even watch. Eric said Ben Shapiro's video was hilarious. I didn't even watch his actual video, right? I saw all of the people remixing his video, making fun of him. What does that do? It creates more energy around the original topic. Now, more people are going to watch. More people are going to go see what it's all about. So, until people are willing to talk about or accept the role that they play in these things, accept the role that they play as a consumer and how the market responds, they're responding to us. They're responding to us. Everything you see on the market, they are responding to us. How can you be mad at that? So when you see something like a WAP, right? Or you no longer see something like a surviving such and such, it is all a response to us, the consumer. So I just thought that was super interesting that they went and did this. Nobody really talked about it. I wasn't surprised about it because people that's been watching, y'all know we've been talking about this for weeks, and I was like, y'all just watch, just wait, just see. And it happened exactly like that. But all right, y'all. So Kamala Harris and Black Introvert said, "Can I have a wrench, Rhonda?" Yes, you can. You sure can. Thank you, Black Introvert. But all right, y'all. So your girl Kamala Harris has been picked as the VP. I think this is super interesting. Oh my God. I hope y'all already had your popcorn, but if you haven't grabbed it, you certainly should by now. All right, so this is according to MSN.com. I guess this was originally on Business Insider. Biden picks Kamala Harris, his former 2020 rival, to be his vice presidential running mate. After months of speculation, former Vice President Joe Biden tapped Senator Kamala Harris of California to be his vice presidential running mate. The 55-year-old former California Attorney General will be the first Black woman. That's interesting. She was the first Indian Attorney General, but now she's going to be the first Black woman VP. But anyway, since sex and race and all this stuff is pretty gender fluid these days. But anyway, and first person of Indian descent to be nominated by either major party for vice president. Harris was chosen despite some concerns about her widely shared debate moment when she went after Biden over his opposition to federally mandated busing. I know you guys remember that when she alluded to him being a racist, okay, a segregationist. She did this on the national debate stage in front of millions of people. How quickly we forget. Presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden announced Senator Kamala Harris of California will be his vice presidential running mate, which will make her the first woman of color on a major party's presidential ticket. The selection makes Harris a leading figure in the Democratic Party with a chance to be a heartbeat away from the presidency and a favorite for the next nomination of 2024. Blah, 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 blah. Biden, 77, said he was blindsided by the attack. Okay, this was on the debate stage, especially given Harris' friendship with his son Beau, but the two later reconciled. I bet y'all did. And we're seen being chummy at subsequent campaign events. All right. Harris was born in Oakland, California, the place we just talked about. All right. Where not only do you have a large part, and I think that's actually interesting because you have a very large part of the Oakland citizen, y'all know what I'm trying to say, being replaced by immigrants, being pushed out of their own neighborhoods, okay? She was born in Oakland, California, to parents of Jamaican and Indian descent. Jamaican and Indian descent. She went on to become the first woman and African American person to serve as San Francisco District Attorney and later as California Attorney General. Whew. Jupiter Black said Trump going to show all the pardons of black men. K. Harris locked up. Thank you, Levon. Bruce the Box Brooks says Biden's crime bill incarcerated record numbers of black. Kamala prosecuted record numbers of black. If prison is legal slavery, a marriage made in dim heaven. Thank you, Bruce the Boss Brooks. So, is it really any surprise, right? We knew when your girl returned to daytime TV looking all crazy out with the face lift. We knew something was going on. All right. I'm not shocked. Honestly, I'm just annoyed that it took this long. Building the suspense for what? I really don't understand it. Kamala Harris basically just affirmative actioned her way into the VP nomination. All right. You had, I think it was 100 black male leaders who came out and signed some type of letter stating, oh, you need to pick a black woman, right, for VP. Black woman was literally the placeholder. They didn't ask for any other specifications. Nothing was important. No actual freaking policy. Snatch any black woman from anywhere and we will be happy. This is the symbolism that continues. Not forward thinking, not thinking about policy, not thinking about quality of life. All right. Just more symbolism. Whether people realize it or not, this VP spot, and why you have all of these black male leaders coming together to try to, get this black woman into this spot is another way for these black blue chicks and these black elitists to say, oh, look, they're listening to us. See, listen, being black, it matters. It allows them, these people that move into these spaces, right? You have people like the Simone Sanders, the guy that believes that men can have babies. You have all these people that are able to move into these spaces, speak on the behalf of black people. They're able to, write these books, be on these panels, act like they talk for or speak on the behalf of the average person when the average person is asking for policy, not symbolism. Okay? A person like Kamala Harris winning allows these blue checks to continue to move within these spaces as the special Negro. I'm going to just call it what it is. While you need actual policy to enhance your quality of life, they get to use their money, their resources, their land, their gated communities, and their private security to escape the life that you live, while pretending that they advocate on your behalf, which they do not. Because if they do, they would see in a time where more people are out of work, we are getting ready to see inflation of hella proportions. We're going to see crazy evictions. And they think the most important thing to you is symbolism. They don't even have the gall. They don't even have the nerve. They don't even have the guts to, at the very least, wrap it up and present it in a different way. In a way that even looks like it could be helpful to you. And so, you know, when I first saw this, the first thing I thought was, man, like, this is really a slap in the face, particularly to Black voters, right? I was like, man, they saw how Black voters responded to Kamala Harris during her run. You literally have people in the streets, and this is even more odd, at a time where people are saying defund the police, or at the freaking very least, reform the police. You're going to put a top cop, and I'm not saying this. Kamala Harris is on the record several times calling herself the top cop. That is a nickname she has given herself, proudly taken on. In a time where regular freaking citizens are asking for police reform, you go on to appoint a top cop as your VP nomination. And Black leaders think the best they can do, speaking on your freaking behalf, is to ask for more symbolism. If this is not the most contradictory, offensive BS I've ever seen in my life. So I start to think this is such a slap in the face, right, to Black voters. But then I start to think and dig a little deeper, and I think, well, is it really? Is it really? You had a presidential nominee, Joe Biden, sit there and say, basically, it's like, they all the same. They ain't even that diverse. They think just alike. I put Kamala in here, man. They gonna fall right in line. That is the least of my worries. I don't care how they reacted. Now I can put Kamala Harris in here, which the virtue signaling liberal suburban white woman, right, who needs to deal with her issues and feel vindicated through symbolism. Now she has somebody to vote for. This is a platform she can get behind, and them other people gonna fall in line. So this wasn't a pick for Black people, whether people realize it or not. Because when you've shown people that they can do whatever to you, say whatever to you, and you are still going to support them in overwhelming numbers, when they can literally screw you so much to you're being pushed out of your own freaking neighborhoods, like Oakland, California, where you are being replaced, when your governor has the nerve to come on TV and say, we can't match 25% of your unemployment, while trying to give people who have no freaking significant ties to the same resources, like people born here. Can you blame? At this point, they are the freaking abusive spouse that knows you ain't going nowhere. And that's exactly how they say it. You ain't going nowhere. I can verbally abuse you. I can physically abuse you. Talking about progressive cities, talking about New York and California, they have some of the most disgusting policing that I've ever had the displeasure of seeing on film. Coming right out of those states, California and New York. Can steal your freaking taxes with nothing to show for it, have the nerve to say, oh, well, just give us more money. We're going to figure it out. We'll get it right at some point. I'm disgusted. I am disgusted. I want so badly to be shocked. I want so badly to be shocked. But I can't. And now, when I've been talking about this for 4 years now, when you have organizations like a freaking Blexic, like a ADOS, like all of these organizations that are popping up and they're saying, walk away. We're not with this anymore. Y'all are going to have to do something. You're going to have to do more for our votes. Not only do you fail, you double down on your failure. It is obvious you are not listening to the vote like black women. You're not even listening to them on the freaking campaign trail. How ironic, man. Do y'all remember a couple of weeks ago when I mentioned, right? Do y'all remember? This is so crazy, man. When you see this stuff, you can't unsee it. I literally talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Helena J, Black Introvert, Raymond, all the other people in here that are here every Tuesday, y'all can vouch for me. I literally said a couple of weeks ago, I said, have y'all noticed that the conversation is changing a little bit on Twitter? I said, have y'all noticed that? I said, have y'all noticed that it went from defund the police to, do y'all remember a week later where there were a lot of these videos coming out of black men like attacking and doing very vicious things to black women? Y'all remember that? It was around the same time that the young girl that was like some type of activist, like Black Lives Matter activist, she was murdered by like a lover or something like that. And right after, you had all these videos just coming out of nowhere, right? And then it became protect black women, right? Do y'all remember that? Do you see how that perfectly kind of shifted the narrative a little bit and led us right into where we are? So you have this this train of this changing narrative that now goes into protect black women, vote like black women. And then there was something else, completely trying to remove black men from the conversation. Now, if you've noticed, I talked about this a lot, right? Rarely, think about it. Y'all can send links, send me a tweet, anything. It is rare that you ever have a politician ever say black men. Rare. Super rare. Practically non-existent. And it's nearly a 99.9% chance that if and when you hear a politician say black men, they are talking about prison. As if all black men are prisoners. As if all black men are in and out of the jail system, the prison system. As if all black men are criminals. So what about the hundreds and thousands of black men that aren't? What about my brother and my dad and my cousins and my uncles? When are they ever courted or even addressed by politicians? Everything we see, down to the algorithms and the things Twitter props up and doesn't prop up, is very orchestrated. It's very orchestrated. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. They literally pulled the conversation right from under us. Do y'all think they caused just enough chaos in the streets? Caused, allegedly. I'll say allowed. They've allowed just enough chaos to say, oh, look at this, to get mad. Now you're geared up to vote, but now we're going to, now we don't want to talk about that old police brutality stuff. We're not covering them protests no more. How are we going to do that when we pushing the top cop? Not that right now. Let's talk about this symbolism. Let's talk about this AKA that's about to be in the White House. It is very intentional, man. It is so intentional. Once you pay attention, once you see, there is a reason. If you go on Twitter, and don't get me wrong, I've also talked about how a lot of these protests, you have a lot of people using this for their own selfish agenda. You have a lot of people. It's just a whole mixture of a lot of stuff going on right now, right? You have the freaking communists down to the people that's out of a job and don't have anything else to do, to some black actual police brutality protesters sprinkled in there, to some other people that's just, it's just a lot, all right? So I'm not going to take away from that. But there are still protests going on, and now you have a media that is slowly people talking about it less and less. So if I want to let y'all know now, if Joe Biden wins, you are looking at your next or your first female president. That's what this is. I talked about how this is one of the most important VP picks of possibly our lifetime. So that's already prepare for that, okay? She will absolutely be running the White House. And so Ronnie C said, who y'all think will win the election? So honestly, at this point, I just don't know. It is so many factors. To consider. You have a lot of people that's annoyed, that's over. You have a lot of people that's not voting at all or going to vote down ballot. You have a lot of people that don't like how the coronavirus situation that was handled that might go into this. You have a lot of people that don't like Kamala Harris. You have Biden that has been saying crazy things lately. You have Trump that has been saying crazy things lately. And I can't even say lately, as of usual. And so some things that Trump has said and done has made me feel like he don't even want to win the election. Some of the missteps and I think, just absolute dumb things the DNC has done made me feel like they don't want to win the election. So at this point, but then you have a lot of people so adamant right now that they are coming to the polls, whatever it takes. Then you have the mailing ballots, if it's an issue of fraud or not. So honestly, it's so it's going to be crazy going into the election. Y'all haven't seen anything yet. I do plan to be thoroughly entertained, however, by the debates. I am looking forward to this. This is my biggest problem. This is one of my biggest problems with the Kamala Harris and Joe Biden ticket. I've said this and I'll say it again. You had Kamala Harris that went on the debate stage. She alluded to this man being a racist and a segregationist. You had Kamala Harris that came out and said, I believe Joe Biden's accusers. She literally said this. All right. If they get up there and try to run this campaign like it's anti-racism and anti-sexism, misogyneer, all these other terms y'all have, that is some BS. It's BS, it's fake, it's phony, it's fugazi. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the narrative. I'm sick of the emotional roller coaster. For this lady to sit up here and try to pull on the heartstrings of Americans, particularly the ones that look like me, and say, you're a freaking segregationist. And then not only do you turn around, basically he's a segregationist and a rapist, right? Or a racist and a rapist. Not only do you turn around and hug him, love on him, you decide to be his running mate. So therefore, you are propping up, promoting, sponsoring everything that he stands for. That's what you're doing. You're standing beside him. This makes no sense. This makes no sense. This only makes sense to a crazy person. So my thing is, if you're going to get up there and run. Get on there and run on your freaking platform. I don't know, whatever that is, gender neutral bathrooms and paying illegal immigrants and every other thing they want to do, right? Taxing the rich. Say that. Get on the stage and say that, but do not get up there and try to virtue signal. Do not get up there and try to talk to us about racism and sexism. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the fakeness. I'm sick of people falling for it. I'm sick of people using those things for talking points. I'm sick of it. It's dumb. It's redundant. It's nonsensical. It's pointless. I, for one, don't want to listen to it. I'm not having it. For the DNC to make Joe Biden their front runner, that is a freaking slap in the face to everything. Every big boogie man monster that they've been preaching to y'all for the last 4 years is now their freaking ticket. That makes no sense. It makes no sense. They know it makes no sense, but they don't have to be held to any kind of standard because they have people that are, oh, come on, guys. Well, I mean, what do we do now? We don't have any other choice. Come on, guys. You know, we'll vote for the less evil, sexist, and racist. It's pathetic. It's pathetic to me. So going into this election, I actually think that for me, I think this is one of the most I just don't see like what people are so excited about going into the polls this November. I don't know. Like I feel like it's a lot of things coming down the pipeline that and yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. So we'll see what happens. I prefer they get on these debate stages and actually talk about their actual records. All right. Talk about their records, the bad and the good, something that has really, like, Trump is about to go in on them, on their records as far as crime and dealing with crime. He's about to go in on them. I know that's about to happen. For sure. We've talked about Kamala Harris' record as a prosecutor. And honestly, I just hope they get on stage, talk about their records, not all this trying to get the viral I got you moment, literally talking about how they can help enhance, improve the quality of life of everyday people. Because it's going to be probably a lot of mudslinging, a lot of empty talking, a lot of empty pandering and virtue signaling. And this is just not the time for symbolism. It is just not the time for symbolism. Edward said, I don't see myself voting this November. I've heard a lot of people say they're not voting. I heard a lot of people say they're voting down ballot. I've heard a lot of people say they're voting for Trump as a like spite vote. I heard people say they're voting for Trump because he's the only one that can save us for socialism as we continue to go further and further in debt. I've heard people say they voting for Joe Biden just to get Trump out of office. I've heard all kind of stuff, so I don't even know what's gonna happen. But it's a very interesting time, and we'll see what happens. Honestly, I'm kind of ready to just get it all over with so people can go back to regular life. I feel like there's a lot of people. I feel like there's a lot of people. I feel like a lot of virtue signalers want to get Trump out of office because they don't want to have discussions about race or racism. And then I feel like you have a lot of Black people that want to get Trump out of office because they want to go back to sleep and pretend like America hasn't been what it has always been. And they want to be able to pretend like their quality of life is not the same as it has been, unless mostly a lot of decisions they made, like you have people actively saying, you know what, I'm leaving California, I'm not doing this, I'm moving to Texas to try to find a better life for myself, a better job, lower taxes, better opportunity, fresher air, more land. All right. So I mean, and honestly, like, something in me, I'd be like, man, sometimes points just need to be proved. I feel like points just need to be proved. And if you have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get in here, it's going to give me a lot of talking material, because it's going to, for some people that it ain't clicked and they like having fun on these emotional roller coasters and being used for people to climb up the blue check and political ladder, it has not clicked for them that just because somebody looks like you, just because somebody comes through with the viral talking points and the hashtags, you have not. People cannot show me on paper where this has added to their quality of life. If it had, a lot of people wouldn't be in a position and asking of or for the things that they are now. A lot of people wouldn't feel such at this desperation point. It's no way Trump has come in 4 years and as a person that looks at the freaking legislation, this idea that he's just come in 4 years and oh my God, just ruined the world. It's just a big lie. And honestly, some people need to just admit the facade. Some of y'all just want to go back to pretending that, oh, and living in your little bubble and not being riled up until the media wants to show you again that some unarmed person has been shot while your fave is in office, like we had an Obama, and then you mad again, but then you not. And ain't nothing really changed the whole time. So I'm no longer pretending with people. I'm not jumping on a symbolism bandwagon. I'm not pretending that, oh my God, my life just went to absolute crap in the last 4 years. I'm not going to pretend that symbolism is going to cloak me in some life of advantage and we made it. No, I'm not going to do that. And as time goes on, you're going to see less and less people doing that. Less and less people are already doing it, as you see them on Twitter currently responding to the VP nomination. And so, like I said again, and like I'll continue to say, until people actually start to fully focus on things that add to their actual quality of life, which comes by way of, first, yes, jobs, employment, which allows you to buy land, live a healthier life, because now you can buy better food, have a family, and all these other things that add, some of the key measures to having a successful or happy life, right? Even when it comes down to, even when we're talking about the Black Lives Matter thing, I told people, do not get swept away in this whole fighting over hashtags and slogans and painting stuff in the streets or unpainting it, all the other dumb stuff. I saw some video today of Antifa members and MAGA members fighting in the freaking streets. What are y'all? Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. What are you even fighting for? To prove what? You got these freaking blue checks. You got these politicians sitting in their gated homes, sitting around their private security, drinking mimosas, laughing at y'all because y'all are fighting over things that they should be legislating. I don't get it. So yes, I'm sure that they get a kick out of that, because a lot of politicians that boost their campaign, because now they can be the ones to say, "Oh, I'm gonna come in and save you from this." Now, So, but y'all, we're gonna see what happens going into November. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. We have not even begun to see the impact of the inflation that's coming. You have not begun to see what's going to happen when these people are masked up going into Thanksgiving and Christmas, and people do not have jobs and they're masked up and have on their trench coats walking into these stores. Okay. You've seen nothing yet. So prepare yourselves. We will continue to be forward thinking. Thank y'all for joining me on this Tuesday. Again, I have links below if you would like to become a member of my Patron. Thank you to my VIP patrons, Michael Ray and Ray Ray. I also have links below to my Entertainers Are Not Leaders teas, and I have links below if you would like to come to the Solutionary Summit that's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia on September 12th. That is going to be awesome with a lot of heavy hitters on the panel. But all right, y'all. Also, thank you to everybody that super chatted. I think I read the last one. Let me double check. Yeah, I did. Thank you to everybody that super chatted. And all right, y'all have a good night.